Thank you, devotees. So we're reading this asamsayam, mahabhaho, mano, durnigraham, chalam. So Krishna is continuing the focus on controlling the mind. So the mind can be, so right now also the mind is controlled if you see it from one perspective. But the mind is controlled to do impious actions. For someone who's very impious, he has continuously done that only. So control and uncontrol is a little relative term if you're a little critical. So my mind is controlled to do, say, to watch TV, or to watch mobile phone. So it is controlled, is it not? How can we say it's not controlled? For someone else, to watch the mobile phone always will be very difficult. Like for instance, say someone who's Ashtanga yogi, right? So the mind is controlled. So the idea of Ashtanga yoga is whatever you practice, you become better. That's true also, right? So for someone who's finding it very difficult to practice something, right, then Ashtanga yoga prescribes, okay, you're not able to practice, then practice something little grosser. Okay, practice pranayama, practice this, practice this, practice that. So in this way, Abhyasa. So we are discussing different types of Abhyasa that we are doing in our everyday practice as Bhakti yogis. And our more or less our Abhyasa is focused on presenting ourselves before the Lord as the enjoyed. Right? I am very Naitya, right? Dainya. There are three types of prayers, right? We have Dainya Atmika, what is this? Dainya Bodhika, and then Samprarthanatmika, right? So in this way, there are different types of prayers. Then Lala Samai. So there are different types of prayers, right? So our Abhyasa, depending on where we are, can take different forms. But ultimately our Abhyasa is prayer. What does prayer mean? Prayer means expressing our dependence on the Lord. To say, I am Paratantra Vastu. Because the opposite of the position, right now the position we are in is, I am Swatantra. I can do anything I want. This is my current position. So my Abhyasa is to counteract that idea. So one could ask, what is the criteria for a devotee, whether it is an Abhyasa or not? Very simple. If you can feel, I am always dependent on the Lord. I'm dependent on the Lord is also, you can maybe cheat it. I'm dependent on my spiritual master's instructions. Correct? I'm dependent on my spiritual master, or even better, dependent on the spiritual master's instructions. Or even better than that, I'm dependent on those devotees who are executing my spiritual master's instructions perfectly. I'm dependent on those devotees. Best. Right? So if we are finding ourselves dependent, then that position is first class position. But as soon as I feel a little independent, so the Bhakti Yogi's answer to why we don't want to do Abhyasa. Right? Prabhupada is asking me to remember Krishna 24 hours. Chaitanya Prabhu is saying, he remember Krishna always. And Chaitanya Prabhu himself is saying, my spiritual master ordered me to chant always. So in order to fulfill his instruction, I'm continuously chanting. I'm not giving that up because he asked me to do it. So that was, Ishwar Puri's greatness. And hearing this, all the saints of Varanasi are stunned. Wow. And even Krishna is telling Sudama, it's a very famous shloka, right? There are so many ways to make progress, right? But Krishna is telling that the best way to make progress is actually not by tapasa, na ijya, na tapasa, right? Guru Shushrooshaya yatha, he's telling. Right. So the best way to make progress is Guru Shushrushaya yatha. As much as you can please me by Guru Shushrushaya. I am not pleased by any other things. Not by Naham Idya Prajatibhyam Tapasa Upashamena va Tushyayam Sarvabhutatma Guru Shushrushaya yatha. I'm not pleased by Idya or Prajati Bhyam Tapasa Upashamena va, not by Tapasa, not by sense control. Tushyayam Sarvabhutatma. I'm not pleased by Tushti, by anything. Guru Shusrushaya yatha. As much as I'm pleased with pleasing a devotee. So anyway, the point is to say our Abhyasa is whenever I am dependent, then I will follow the instructions Prabhupada is saying remember 24 hours Krishna. Then I should try to remember Krishna 24 hours because it is my duty to carry out his instruction. If I have to convey to Krishna, Krishna, I'm ready to go back to the spiritual world, what would Krishna study? He'll look at me and look for just one quality. He'll look for just one quality, whether I have an independent attitude or if I have a dependent attitude. If I have an independent attitude, I will have to stay in this material world. Simple. But if I have a dependent attitude, I go back to the spiritual. That's all. That is all. Not if I have jnanam, not if I have vairagyam, not if I have attachment, not if I have detachment. Everything is contained within the simple understanding of paratantriya bhava. Paratantriya means I am dependent. Swatantriya means I am independent. So this dasya bhav, this paratantriya bhav, this seva bhav, right, this service attitude of being a servant, identifying as a servant. I'm meant to carry out orders. I'm a dependent person. I cannot do anything I want. I'm under the control of someone. For someone to feel that is very difficult actually, this material world. Because the natural tendency is to feel independent. So the abhyasa, coming back to the point of abhyasa, is very simple for a devotee. We have to feel dependent. Why do you wake up in the morning? Dependent. My spiritual master asked me. I'm not independent. I have to carry out his order. Why do you follow the four regulative principles? Very simple. I have to follow my spiritual master's order. So I have to follow the four regulative principles. I don't have any independence. Why do you go to this program? Why do you go to that program? Why do you go to the temple? Why do you attend this program? Whatever it is. Why do you do that? Because Krishna desires it. The spiritual master ordered. Spiritual master ordered me to completely surrender to Krishna. He has ordered me. You have to do this. You have to get love for Godhead. He has ordered me. And if I don't do that, it is Guru Ravagnya. Guru Ravagnya, Shruti Shastra Nindanam. So Guru Ravagnya is one of the offenses to the 10 offenses to the Lord, to disobey the orders of the instructions of the spiritual master. So our abhyasa, of course, different people can have different abhyasas, like we discussed. Abhyasa to control the mind by abhyasa to sit in a one place. Some people have their abhyasa. I should not wake up from this place for 1 hour. That's an abhyasa. But the best abhyasa for a devotee is that I have to feel dependent. I have to become dependent. Whatever he says, I should follow. I am not independent. I don't have any swatantram. This is there. Then from here, jnanam will come, vairagyam will come, Raikshamaha, Damaha, Titiksha, Arjavam, sab aa jayega. Everything will come. But if this is not there, this dependence is not there, you can do vicharam, you can do shastriya alochanam, you can do swadhyayam, you can do what do you say, jnanam, you can have vairagyam, you can have shamaha, you can have damaha, you can have titiksha, you can have arjavam, you can have sattva, samshuddhi, jnana, yoga, danam, damaha, yajnaha, swadhyaya, tapaha, arjavam, whatever you want, everything can be there. But without this dependence, Krishna will not be attracted. Because Krishna says very easy, in straightforward in Bhagavatam, that I am actually a servant of my devotee. Aham bhakta paradinaha, Krishna says. Krishna is meeting all the Kumaras, 4 Kumaras. Krishna is telling the 4 Kumaras, please, right, forgive my servants. I ask apologies on their behalf. So please forgive me, right, for not serving you properly. And the 4 Kumaras felt very embarrassed, right? So we can see Krishna's simplicity in that pastime, very touching, heart-wrenching pastime. How Krishna approaches so simply, and he's saying, I am actually sold to my devotees. I have no independence whatsoever. Right? I have no. So this actually so no, not 4 Kumaras. This verse is actually said by to Durvasa Muni. Aham bhakta paradine aswatantra iva dvijaha sadhubhi grashta hridaya bhaktair bhakta janapriya sadhubhi grasta hridaya. Right, my heart is captured, Krishna, by the sadhus. Sadhu grasta hridaya means is captured their heart. Bhaktahi bhakta janapriya. I am dear to my devotees. Whatever my devotees want, I will do it. Bhaktahi bhakta janapriya. So this is being quoted, one of the very few shlokas that Jiva Goswami Pad quotes in Bhakti Sandarbha, Krishna Sandarbha, Preeti Sandarbha, Paramatma Sandarbha, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. all this single shloka, aham bhakta paradina hi asat aswatantra iva dvijaha. Hey Dvija, I am aswatantram. Krishna is telling, now we are all talking, we are aswatantram, we are paratantram. But Krishna himself is saying, I am myself aswatantram. I don't have any independence. It's already 9:30. But the point is, our abhyasa to control the mind is this very simple point that to become dependent. Period. That's all we need to do. If there is one quality we need to cultivate in spiritual life, and don't give me any other tasks, just tell me one thing I should do. Dependence. Dependence on Hari, Guru, and Vaishnava. That's all. Simple. Straight back to God at this very lifetime. Why this very lifetime, this very moment? As soon as we decide this point, I am dependent on Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas, immediately we become blissful. Independence, there is problem of mind control, this, that. But when we become dependent, you don't even have to control the mind because Krishna will control the mind. Because false ego itself is plucked out. So Krishna is telling, asamyatatmana yogaha dushprapagiti me matihi vashyatmana tu yatata shakyo avaptu upayataha. So we can control the mind, yogam is very easy. If we cannot control the mind, yogam is very difficult. That's my conclusion, Arjuna. But how to control the mind? Ahamkaram is there. Ahamkaram has to become controlled. So you give up the ahamkaram, manas cannot go anywhere. Manas will go to Krishna only. Ahankaram is the Rajasa Tamas Ahankaram only is doing the doing chanchalam to the mind. If the Ahankaram itself is given, Rajasa Tamas Ahankaram is given, then where is the means of mind going here and there? So the devotee's way of controlling the mind is simple. He cuts the live wire where it matters, and then boom, you don't have to control the mind. So the best way to control the mind is to not attempt to control the mind. What to do? Give up the false ego. How do you do it? Become dependent on Shri Hari, Shri Guru, Shri Vaishnava Vrinda. Okay, so I'll stop here. Any questions or comments?
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, devotees.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Dandavat pranam.